Namaste. Welcome to the lecture series on the subject Applied Thermodynamics. This is Module 3 Vapor Power Cycles, lecture number 7. Myself, Dr. N. Satish Kumar, Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, Canara Engineering College, Bantwal. So, in this lecture, we will continue to solve numericals on vapor power cycles. So, let us solve this problem. Steam enters the turbine of a steam power plant operating on Rankine cycle at 10 bar 300 degrees Celsius. The condenser pressure is 0.1 bar. Steam leaving the turbine is 90% dry. Calculate the adiabatic efficiency of the turbine and also the cycle efficiency neglecting pump work. So it is a problem on simple Rankine cycle. Steam entering the turbine. So you can say is at a state of 10 bar and 300 degrees Celsius. The condenser pressure is 0.1 bar. Steam leaving the turbine, so the exit of the turbine, the dryness fraction of the steam is given as 0.9. Calculate the adiabatic efficiency of the turbine. So turbine has some efficiency here because the actual process is deviated from the ideal process. So you have to find out its efficiency and also the Rankine cycle efficiency by neglecting the pump work. So whenever it is mentioned that neglect the pump work, so you are not supposed to calculate the pump work. So let us note down the given data. So boiler pressure is 10 bar and it is superheated to 300 degrees. So better you check the steam table. So 10 bar. So table is A1. So temperature, saturation temperature is 179.88 degree Celsius. Okay, this is the data handbook which I am referring now, right? Thermodynamics data handbook authored by B.T. Nijaguna and B.S. Samaga. So page number 12, table A1 at 10 bar, the saturation temperature is 179.88. So given temperature, if it is more than saturation temperature, so then the point 3, which is the entry point to the turbine, is a superheated steam. Then the condenser pressure is 0.1 bar and x3, okay, it is x3, right? Okay, 0.3 is taken as the exit of the turbine. This is point entry of the turbine is taken as 2, okay, T2, right? So x3 is 0.9. So you have to find out what is the isentropic efficiency of the turbine, also cycle efficiency. You have to neglect the pump work. So first let us find out the enthalpy at point 2, entry point of the turbine, that is H2, and also the entropy at point 2. So how do you find out that? Since already you know that the entry point to the turbine, that is steam, which is at 10 bar and 300 degrees Celsius, is superheated. So you have to go to the superheated steam tables. So let me open the table. So superheated steam table starts from page number 17. So 10 bar and 300 degrees Celsius. So it is in the page number 18. So page number 18, you have the first column as the saturation pressure bracket absolute temperature, saturation temperature, and you have the three values there: specific volume, enthalpy, and entropy. VHS. All of you can open the table. Now go to 300 degrees Celsius column. So H value is 3052.1. So note down that 3052.1, and S value is 7.1251. So they are nothing but S2 and S2. So this is how you have to go through the tables. Okay, this is a TS diagram. So entry point to the pump is 4, boiler entry point is 1, turbine entry point is 2, right? So isentropic expansion takes place along 3s, actual expansion takes place along 3. So at 3, the dryness fraction is 0.9. Okay. Now go to table A1 because you have to note down the data at the condenser pressure also. So table A1 pressure is 0.1 bar. So at 0.1 bar, so saturation temperature is 45.83, HF is 191.8, HFG is 2392.9, SF is 0.6493, and SFG is 7.5018. Now once you note down these points, okay, so these are applicable to 0.1 bar pressure. So which are the points? 4 and 3. Okay, so if you want to find out H4 or H3, so you have to use these values. Now since point number 3 is in the two-phase region, right? So H3 is nothing but HF3 plus X3 HFG3 at 0.1 bar. This is perfectly written. H3 you have to find out at 0.1 bar. For that you have to use the formula HF3 plus X3 HFG3 at 0.1 bar. So just we noted HF is 191.8, X3 is 0.9 and HFG3 is 2392.9. So H3 you will get it as 2345.4 kilojoules per kg. Okay, so this is what we have found out now. So this is the value of H3. Okay. Now we know that process 2 to 3s is isentropic. Okay, so 3 is wet steam. S2 is equal to S3s. So 2 to 3s. If I go to that diagram, you can see 2 to 3s is isentropic. That means S2 is equal to S3s. S2 you noted from the superheated steam table. So S3s is nothing but SFG at 3 plus X3s into SFG at 3, because SF and SFG, so it is same at 4, 3s as well as 3, because it's not corresponding to a point, it's corresponding to the pressure. So all these points 3, 3s and 4, so they lie on the condenser pressure of 0.1 bar. So only parameter which is specific to the 0.3s in this expression is X3s. So X3s is only unknown. So if you substitute here, you will get X3s as 0.863 and using H3s formula. So what is H3s? HF3 plus X3 X3s into HFG3. Okay, same formula as H3, but only thing is here also suffix 3s. Here also this is X3s. This is this value how to use, and this is nothing but HF3 and this is HFG3. See here also this is SF3 and this is SFG3. Okay, so once we find out all these parameters, now let us find out the turbine efficiency. So turbine efficiency, that is nothing but the isentropic efficiency of the turbine, is nothing but actual work output divided by ideal or isentropic work output. So actual work output is actual process is 2 to 3 now, and isentropic work output is 2 to 3s. So H2 minus H3 divided by H2 minus H3s, so you'll get it as 0.89, and cycle efficiency is nothing but W turbine by QH, because pump work is neglected. Otherwise it would have been W net by QH. So okay, anyhow you can write W net by QH. So W net is equal to WT minus WP. So WP is neglected, pump work is neglected, you can consider it as 0. Okay, so turbine work output is H2 minus H3 and heat input is H2 minus H1. So H1 is nothing but here is equal to H4. H1 is equal to H4. So that is 191.8 kilojoules per kg. So if you substitute in this expression, you will get the efficiency as 0.25 or 25%. See, only when pump work is neglected, you have to take H1 is equal to H4, else you have to calculate H1 by using the formula H4 plus pump work. So that is very, very important. Okay, now let us solve this problem. A 40 megawatt steam plant working on Rankine cycle operates between boiler pressure of 4 megapascal and condenser pressure of 10 kilopascal. The steam leaves the boiler and enters the steam turbine at 400 degrees Celsius. The isentropic efficiency of the steam turbine is 85%. Determine the cycle efficiency, the quality of steam from the turbine, the steam flow rate in kg per hour. Consider pump work. Okay. So a 40 megawatt, so capacity of the power plant is given, and it is working on Rankine cycle between boiler pressure of 4 megapascal. So 4 megapascal, so 4 into 10 to the power 6 or 40 bar, and 10 kilopascal is the condenser pressure, 0.1 bar. Okay, the steam leaves the boiler and enters the turbine at 400 degrees Celsius. So entry point to the turbine is 400 degrees Celsius. The isentropic efficiency of the steam turbine is 85%. So previous problem we calculated isentropic efficiency of the turbine, but in this problem it is given as 85%. So you are supposed to calculate cycle efficiency. quality of steam from the turbine, that is X3 you have to find out. Okay, and the steam flow rate in kg per hour you have to find out. You have to consider the pump work also. So boiler pressure is 4 megapascal 40 bar, right? So here you can see, so it is 40 bar. Condenser pressure is 0.1 bar PC. Power is 40 megawatt, so 40,000 kilowatt. T2, so entry point to the turbine is 400 degrees Celsius. Efficiency of the turbine is 0.85. So you are supposed to find out efficiency of the cycle and also X3 and also the steam flow rate. Okay. Now let us note down the enthalpy at various points. So first let us note down the enthalpy at point 2, enthalpy and entropy. So where is point 2? So point 2 is 40 bar line and temperature at 2 is 400 degrees Celsius. So it is 400 degree Celsius. So you can check the steam table A1. So at 40 bar the saturation temperature is 250.33 and given temperature is 400 degrees Celsius. So it is superheated steam. Now go to table A3, page number 19. So 440 bar and 400 degrees Celsius. So I'll read the values. Enthalpy is 3215.7 and entropy is 6.7733. So you just note down here. So this becomes H2, this becomes S2. So H2 is nothing but H at 40 bar and 400 degrees Celsius. Similarly S2 also. So both the values have to be taken from the superheated steam table, that is A3, page number 19 for your reference. Now look at the point 4 here. So this is in the 0.1 bar line and it is a saturated liquid. That means you have to go to the first table A1. So A1 table, page number 11, 0.1 bar. Since 0.1 bar is directly available here, so I'll read the values of enthalpy. HF is 191.8. Yes, it is correct. Then HFG is 2392.9. 0.1 bar SF value is 0.6493, right? So 0.6493 and SFG value is 7.5018. So these are the values you have to note down. Now once you note down these values, now our concentration is to find out the value of H3 here. So first for that you have to find out H3S. So since the quality of the steam at 3S is not known, but you know that process 2 to 3S is isentropic, so S2 is equal to S3S. That is S2, S3S is nothing but SF3 plus X3S into SFG3 at 0.1 bar. It's very important. So this SF and SFG values you have to note down at 0.1 bar, which just now you noted. Okay, so SF at 3 or SF at 4, so the values is same because the pressure is same. So S2 is 6.7733 and SF is 0.6493 at 0.1 bar and this is 7.5018. So after substitution you will get X3S as 0.816. Now substitute in the formula for H3S, which is nothing but HF3 plus X3S into HFG3 at 0.1 bar. You see here this side all these values, right, mainly enthalpy values, similarly here entropy values. So they have to be taken at 0.1 bar pressure because 0.3 is on 0.1 bar line, and after substitution you will get H3S as 2145.2 kilojoules per kg. Okay. Now let us use the turbine efficiency formula to find out H3, because just now you calculated H3S. What you did? You noted H2 value, S2 value at 0.2 because that is condition is clearly known. H4 that is HF4 and also the HF values at 3, HFG values at 0.1 bar, all these things you noted, entropy values also, and you calculate X3S first, then H3S. Now come to the efficiency of the turbine formula, H2 minus H3 divided by H2 minus H3S. Substitute here, so only unknown here is H3. So when isentropic efficiency of the turbine is given, so this is the way to find out the actual enthalpy at the end of the actual expansion in the turbine, that is 2 to 3 process. So H3 will get as 2305.8 kilojoules per kg, and you can find out turbine work output as H2 minus H3 as 909.9 kilojoules per kg. Now pump work, since it has to be considered here, so that is nothing but VF into PB minus PC. So VDP, pump work is nothing but VDP. So V is nothing but specific volume at 0.4, and this is nothing but difference of boiler pressure minus condenser pressure. So you have to multiply by 10 to the power 5 to convert bar into Pascal, then 10 to the power 10 to the power 3 to convert that into kilojoules, or directly you can multiply convert bar into kilopascal, so that answer you will get in kilojoules per kg. So 4.031 kilojoules per kg, which is also equal to H1 minus H4. So pump work is nothing but V into PV minus PC is equal to H1 minus H4. So after substitution, H1 you will get as 195.8 kilojoules per kg. Then find out the cycle efficiency, W net by Q1. So W net is nothing but turbine work minus pump work here. Q1 heat addition nothing but H2 minus H1. Okay, so you'll get the turbine cycle efficiency as the 29.9%. Now you are asked to find out the quality of steam at the turbine exit, that is 0.3. So H3 is equal to HF3 plus X3 HFG3, right? So at 0.1 bar, and after making proper substitution you will get X3 as 0.88. Now here you have to find out the mass flow rate of the steam since the power output is given. So P is equal to m dot W net. So P is 40,000, m dot W net just now you calculated is 905.87, that is 909.9 minus 4.031, you can see here. This is the W net. Okay, so after substitution you can find out the mass flow rate as of the steam as 44.2 kg per second, or 159120 kg per hour. So you have to multiply by 3600 to get it in kg per hour. Now let us solve this problem. This is on reheat cycle. So far we solved this on simple cycle, Rankine cycle. Now we are going to the reheat cycle. An ideal reheat cycle utilizes steam as the working fluid. Steam at 100 bar and 400 degrees Celsius is expanded in the HP turbine to 15 bar. After this it is reheated to 350 degrees Celsius at 15 bar and is then expanded in the LP turbine to the condenser pressure of 0.5 bar. Determine the thermal efficiency and the steam rate. Okay, interesting. An ideal reheat cycle utilizes steam as the working fluid. Steam at 100 bar and 400 degrees Celsius. So the pressure here in the boiler is 100 bar and this temperature at 2 is 400 degrees Celsius. Is expanded in the HP turbine to 15 bar. So 2 to 3s is the first expansion in the HP turbine. So the pressure at the end of the expansion is 15 bar. So at this pressure it is reheated to 0.4 to a temperature of 350 degrees Celsius. So that is why this 0.4 is drawn below 2. If they are reheated to the same temperature, 2 and 4 would have been the same line. Now there are 50 degree difference is there. So that is why 0.4 is below 0.2. Okay. And 0.4 is the entry point to the LP turbine where it is expanded to the condenser pressure of 0.5 bar. So 5s is on the condenser line, that is 0.5 bar, and this is the saturated liquid at the end of the condensation, and this is the entry point to the boiler, that is 1s, because here 6 to 1s is isentropic process, 2 to 3s is also isentropic expansion in the turbine, HP turbine, 4 to 5s is isentropic expansion in the LP turbine. So this is the HS diagram. So 0.6 is on the saturated liquid line, this is the 0.1s, and 2 is in the superheated region, 3s is in the two-phase region, 0.4 is in the superheated region, 5s is in the two-phase region. So that you will come to know only when you go to the molar diagram or the HS diagram. So you can locate these points in the molar diagram and you can find out H2, H3s, H4 and H5s. Only to find out H6 and H1s you have to go to the steam table, wherein you get the value of H6, then you have to add the pump work to get H1s. Now from steam tables, so we are solving this problem using steam table because it is more accurate than the molar chart. So at 100 bar pressure, so if I check the temperature at 100 bar pressure, it is 310.96 and given temperature is more than that, so that is why I already marked it in the superheated region. So at using superheated steam tables, so I won't go through the table again. So you note down specific volume, enthalpy and entropy. So these values are available at 100 bar and 400 degrees Celsius in the superheated steam table. Now come to 15 bar, because you want the 15 bar data also, because 3s and 4 is in the 15 bar line. So 15 bar saturation temperature is 192.28 degrees Celsius. So since point 3s is in the two-phase region, so you may need values of VF, VG, HF, HFG, HG, SF, SFG and SG. So these things you have to note down at 15 bar from the steam table A1. Okay, so 15 bar 198.28, saturation temperature is 198.28, VF is 0.0011538, VG is 0.13167, HF is 844.6, HFG is 1945.3, HG is 2789.9, SF is 2.3144, SFG is 4.1262 and SG is 6.4406. Perfect. Okay. Now come to 0.5 bar, that is condenser pressure here. Point 0.5 bar condenser pressure. So 0.5 bar. Okay. So let me read the values. 0.5 bar temperature is 81.35, V is 0.0010301, VG is 3.2401, HF is 344.6, HFG is 2305.4, HG is 2646.0, SF is 1.0912, 6.5035, 7.95947. It's correct. Okay. So these are the values of properties from the steam table at 0.5 bar. So once you note down these values using tables, you see this is very of much importance to note down the values from the steam tables or the molar chart. So at 0.2, 3s and or at 100 bar, 15 bar and 0.5 bar. So only 0.2 you have noted directly the enthalpy and entropy values. 4 had to be noted down. Okay, we will see that later. Now process 2 to 3s is isentropic, so S2 is equal to S3s. So S2 is 6.2182, S3s is nothing but SF3 plus X3s into SFG3. So I won't write the formula again, so directly I substituted here. So X3s is 0.946. Similarly find out H3s, which is nothing but HF3 plus X3s into HFG3. So this is also at 15 bar. You see, you have to note down these values at 15 bar. So these two are at 15 bar, very important, right? So we'll get it as 2950.44 kilojoules per kg. So in the first turbine or HP turbine, so the expansion of steam in the first turbine or expansion work in the first turbine is H2 minus H3s, which comes around 509.46 kilojoules per kg. Okay, now you have to find out H4. So how do you find out H4? So 15 bar and this temperature is 350 degrees Celsius. So at 15 bar, if I check 15 bar, saturation temperature is 198.28 degrees Celsius. Given temperature is 350 degrees Celsius. So it is superheated steam. So once again go to superheated steam table. So you can note down V, H and S. Though it is required or not, you better note down all the values. But you know that this is nothing but H is nothing but H4. So H4 is equal to 3148.7 kilojoules per kg, and expansion in the LP cylinder is H4 minus H5s. So H4 you got it from the superheated steam table at this condition, that is 3148.7. So now let us find out H5s. So to find out H5s, you have S4 is equal to S5s. Process 4 to 5s is isentropic. So S4 is 7.1044 and this is SF5 plus X5s SFG5. So this is at 0.5 bar. Note this. So this is at 0.5 bar. Okay. So substitute here and find out X5s as 0.925. Then H5s is nothing but HF plus X5s HFG at 0.5 bar again, and after substitution you will get as 2473.09 kilojoules per kg. So all these things you have to work out. So here 0.5s, as you can see, is on 0.5 bar line. So this formula as well as this formula, so it is same formula is same, only entropy is replaced by enthalpy, that's all. So both has to be noted at 0.5 bar, and therefore now you find out H5s. So you can find out what is the expansion of steam in the LP turbine, that is H4 minus H5s as 675.61 kilojoules per kg. Okay. Now continuing the solution, so you want H6. So H6 is nothing but HF at 0.5 bar, right? So it is 340.6 kilojoules per kg, 0.5 bar. Okay, it's 340.6 kilojoules per kg, and pump work is nothing but H1s minus H6, which is also nothing but VF5, or it's 6, same thing. Okay, VF6 is 5 because it's 0.5 bar into P3 minus P1. So here P3 is the 100 bar and P1 is 0.5 bar. So it is, you can see it is P1 here, it is P2 here, intermediate pressure, and this is written as condensed pressure is written as P3. So if you substitute, so now VF at 0.5 bar you have to take this VF. 5 is nothing but VF at or I can write as VF6 also, no issues. Okay, and this is 100 bar minus 0.501. Okay, sorry, it is 0.5 minus 0.5 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 10 to the power 2. So you will get it as 10.249 kilojoules per kg, and after simplification you will find out H1s as 350.85 kilojoules per kg, because H1s is nothing but H6 plus pump work. So 340.6 plus 10.249, so it is written as 350.85 kilojoules per kg. Heat supplied is nothing but, now there are two heating process. One is from 1s to 2, this is the heating in the boiler. So then reheating from 3s to 4. So all of you have to note this is very, very important. So H2 minus H1s, one heating boiler, H4 minus H3s is the reheat. So if you substitute for all the values, so just check out these values. So there may be some substitution error and all, calculation error. So method is correct. So all of you are requested to verify the substitution and the calculation. So you get it as 3307.31 kilojoules per kg. Now eta, that is thermal efficiency of the entire cycle, is W net by QH. So W HP turbine plus W LP turbine minus pump work out, right? So 2 turbine works out add divided by heat input. So you'll get it as 0.355 or 35.5%, and steam flow rate or specific steam consumption is nothing but 3600 by W net, which is nothing but 3.064 kg per kilowatt hour. Now we'll solve this above problem when efficiency of the HP turbine and LP turbine and feed pump are given as 80%, 85%, 90% respectively. See, when you are given the efficiency of the turbine, efficiency of the pumps, right? So actual point gets deviated. Can you see here? 2 to 3 years was the earlier point. Now it became 2 to 3 actual point. 4 to 5 years. Now it becomes 5 here. So here also you will get a new point 1 here. So you have to find out, in addition to the previous calculations, you have to find out H3, H5 and H1. That's the only difference. Now to find out H3, let us use the first turbine efficiency, that is 80%. So eta HP turbine is H2 minus H3 divided by H2 minus H3s. So that is nothing but 0.8, and substitute for H2, H3s. So H3 is only unknown. So you'll get H3 value as 2692.33 kilojoules per kg. Similarly, use the eta TLP, LP turbine efficiency to find out H5. You will get it as 2574.43 kilojoules per kg, and use eta pump efficiency formula to find out H1, which you will get it as 351.99 kilojoules per kg. So very, very easy. You see the procedure till there, it is same as the previous. Only thing is to find out these H5 and H1, you have to use the as well as H3, you have to use the efficiency formulas. So once you calculated H3, H5 and H1, now your job is to calculate the efficiency. So Now the HP turbine work becomes H2 minus H3, LP turbine work becomes H4 minus H5. So there is a change, and pump work also changes, H1 minus H6, but there is no change. There is change even in heat input, so it becomes now H2 minus H1, and this becomes H4 minus H3. So there is a change now. All 1s point is replaced by 1, 3s point is replaced by 3, and 5s point is replaced by. So with this new formula and with the new values of substitution, you will get the efficiency as 30.3% and specific steam consumption as 3.71 kg per kilowatt hour. Now, for your kind information, as I told you earlier in the beginning, you can solve this problem using Molar chart also, but the values may not be so accurate. Just let me tell. Now this 0.2 is in the 100 bar line and its temperature is 400 degrees Celsius, correct? So all of you go through open the Molar chart. So go along the 100 bar line till it intersects this 400 degree line. So T is equal to C. This is 400 degrees Celsius line. Okay. So where it intersects, so this is the point you can see here. So at that point, go horizontally and note down the enthalpy. So you'll get it as 3095. Now come vertically downwards till it intersects 15 bar line. So this P is equal to C. This is 15 bar line. Okay, 100 bar. Next is 15 bar line. So 3s, you can look at the point 3s. So note down the enthalpy at this point as well. So that is H3s. And H4 is 15 bar and 350 degrees Celsius. If I am remembering correct, I think it is 350 degrees Celsius. So T is equal to C here. This is 350 degrees Celsius. Reheated to 350 at 15 bar itself. So locate this point 4 again and note down the enthalpy. Read the enthalpy value here. So that is nothing but your H4 value. H5s. So come vertically downwards, right from 4 to 0.5 bar line to intersect 0.5 bar line. So that is H5s. You will get as 2475 kilojoules per kg. So only thing is H6 you have to get from the steam table. So there is no other way to get it from the Molar chart. So H6 is nothing but HF at 0.5 bar, and then using the specific volume and the pressure difference 100 minus 0.5, you have to find out the pump work as usual 10.249 kilojoules per kg. And to find out the actual values of this, I mean when the turbine efficiency and pump efficiencies are given, to find out this H3, H5 and H1, so you have to use the efficiency formula only. So that you cannot get from the Molar chart directly. So this is how you have to make use of the Molar chart. So it reduces a lot of calculation, suppose if you use the Molar chart, right? So there will be small variation with respect to the answer when compared to what you get using the steam tables. So steam table is more accurate, but there will be small deviation when you use the Molar chart. But please do mention that you solve this problem using Molar chart So then clearly some consideration will be given, even though there will be small variation in the answer. Okay. Thank you. This is a very lengthy lecture. And we'll continue to solve a few more problems in the next lecture. Thank you.